Welcome to Fierce Fit Feminine and Other F Words, a place for women in business to learn more about health, beauty, body language, and communication. I'm Christine Brunelli, chiropractor and former beauty salon owner turned certified image consultant, helping you glow from the inside out. Today, we're going to be talking about the out, your outerwear, the garments you're choosing, how you style and dress yourself for work every day. And if this is something where you've been stuck, you're going to really enjoy this episode because I'm going to help you define what your style is so that you know when you go shopping next time, or you even go shopping in your closet, you'll be able to pick and choose outfits to put together that align with your personal style and represent your brand well. Are you ready? Let's dive in. If you hired me one-on-one to help get your closet organized and suited to you, specifically bespoke to what speaks to you as a woman, but also as a woman in business, and you wanted me to simplify your life so that it's just easy for you to go in your closet, know exactly what you're going to pull out to wear, and it's going to look incredible on you, not only in the fit, but also in the colors and all of that. The first question I'm going to ask, this is what I'm going to ask: what is your style? That would be before I see your closet. I'm going to say, what's your style? Do you know? Tell me, give me a description. And you know, most women don't know their style. They couldn't put a word to it. I don't know. I think I'm casual, but I'm a little bit sporty, but I have dressy things. And they just kind of hem and haw. And I've talked a lot on this podcast about how to define your body type, how to determine skin tone, how to get yourself, in shape with movement and nutrition to look better in your clothes, all of those things. And I help women look and feel fabulous. And in my online business, that is for women who need to show up online. So if you're a woman in business who, you have a website or a social media presence or a YouTube channel, and you need to show up in videos, or you have photo shoots annual for your brand and you need to do that and you want to look good, but you need some help in the outfit department. You don't want to stress about what am I going to wear and does this look good on me? This episode is for you, my girl. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go through the different types of styles. Like there's categories that an image consultant would kind of put you in. And then inside those categories, there are little nuances that can even fine tune it more. But once we have this category for you, once you figure it out, and we pair it with knowing your skin tone, so you know what colors look good on you and what colors don't, and we align it with your personal brand. Who am I? What do I want my clothing to say about me? Because your garments on your body and your hair and makeup and your personal grooming, like anything, are your cuticles raggedy or are they taken care of? All of that is nonverbal communication. We make assessments on others, not judging them and their humanity, who they are as person, but we make split decisions on, they must work outside. Their hands look, like they're not soft and moisturized and, they're not getting manicures, so they probably work with their hands, right? You make a split decision if you see something. If you see somebody in work boots, you're making an assumption. That person works in an industry outside if they're like dirty and muddy. So you get the drift of where I'm going. I always want to nip that in the bud in the beginning because we do get 5 seconds or less to make a first impression. And that is before you open your mouth and speak a word. So people say, oh no, that's judgy. No, it's not being judgy. It's actually a nonverbal form of communication. And so what I want to ask you is, what does your style say about you? And does it communicate what you want it to communicate? That's the very first thing you need to look at. Or is your style, oh my gosh, you know what? During the pandemic, I kind of let myself go. I don't look like I used to look. I don't feel the way I used to look. And I just wear whatever fits. And I haven't really given it, maybe the clothes match, but that's about as far as I go. And I don't have a plan. It's a mismatch. If that's you, You're going to love this episode. You would love working with an image consultant, because what an image consultant does is we get rid of all the clutter and make it so that your wardrobe works for you with the least amount of cost. You don't have to keep buying new things. You're going to know and trying it. You'll know exactly what to buy because you'll know what works for your body. So with that said, let's get into it. And I'm going to let you know, I am a certified image consultant and I can work with women, one-on-one. I do this also in my group program, Shine Online. But what I'm going to do is some of this information I am taking from an image consultant website that you can actually look up. And I want to give credit where credit is due, because I want to use these categories, because most image consultants will put you in a specific category for your style, your fashion choices. And the website I'm using today that you can go back and look at is the LondonImageInstitute.com. So I want to just give them credit. That is not who I'm certified through, but all of these institutes do a really good job at pulling together fashion, styling, there's different nuances, whether it's helping a woman in business or just helping a woman who wants to look better in her clothing. Like they have different categories of who they serve. But I liked this website in particular for this podcast episode because it's more general. And I'm going to give you some work here. So you're going to have, if you're driving, you're going to just have to really pay attention. So stick with me, because this is good. I'm going to fly through like 7 categories, and there are little categories inside each bigger category. Are you ready? Okay, rambled on enough. Here we go. First of all, before we choose your category, what do you want your garments to say about you? Think about that. What are personal attributes that you want to land with other people? Is it that you want to communicate confidence, professionalism, approachability, femininity, creativity? What are the words that describe who you are inherently, deep inside you? What words would they be? If you had to choose 3, what would they be? And do those 3 words align with your business? Because you can have clothes on the weekend when you're not working be fun and out the window and not in alignment with like what you wear to work. Of course, after work clothes could be different, but really that turns into having a full closet. And this is all about simplifying your life. If you have 9-to-5 corporate, you're not going to wear 9-to-5 corporate on the weekend. That's what I'm trying to say. So yes, you can have a different style after work. But if you're an entrepreneur and you work from home, it really needs to be in alignment. Like just keep it simple. Your closet is one set of clothes. Like you might have a power outfit that you wear on stage or on camera. And after that, you have a style. If you're corporate 9-to-5 and you have to follow in dress code guidelines, that is one style. If it doesn't really feel like you will have extra clothes. That's all I'm trying to say. You will have extra clothes on the weekends and after hours that might be more you than the dress code. Okay, now with that said, what are your 3 words? What words do you want people to feel when they see you before you speak? Have you ever thought about when young kids, some older people, I shouldn't even just say young, because here in Seattle we see it in all ages, when they dye their hair fluorescent colors? Or, dye their hair fluorescent colors and then tattoo their neck and put piercings on their face, right? What message does that give you? You think, oh, they're creative. Maybe that might be a message. It might scare you. A lot of people that don't understand it are afraid of it. And I'm using an extreme example because I want you to really think about this. I have met some of those people. They came in my beauty salon. And I had a conversation with one who was 19, and she was a barista. A barista, if you don't know, is someone who makes coffee drinks. And here in Seattle, we have drive-through coffee stands everywhere. Literally on 4 corners of an intersection, you can get a coffee driving through in your car, an espresso drink. And she was a barista. And she was pierced on her face, and her hair was hot pink. And she was dressed like with, chains hanging out of her clothes. She just had an image. And it looked, I'm going to use a word, it looked like she was trying to be badass. Like she was trying to look like she was tough and scary. But when you spoke to her, she was not tough and scary. Actually, quite the opposite. She was quiet and introverted. And I said, oh my gosh, your hair color. I made a comment about her hair color. And she's like, oh yeah. And she kind of looked down and she's like, I don't like people to look at it and make comments. And I'm like, thinking to myself, really? So she was young and I thought that would be a nice coachable moment without knowing she was being coached. I said, well, if you don't want people to look at you, you're going to have to blend in with the crowd more. Right now, you stand out in the crowd. If you don't like that, why are you choosing things that make you stand out? And it made her think. And she was open. We were one-on-one, so she didn't feel like she was, on display and in a corner. She really was processing it with me. And that's something I want you to think about. Do you want to stand out? Or do you want to kind of blend in? Or do you want a little mix of both? If you're a woman in business, sometimes you want to blend in with a little pop, right, of something that gets somebody's attention. Do you want your garments and your clothing to be in the background so your face and your energy are in the foreground? Or are you so artistic that you don't give a hoot and you want your clothing to say, I am out here loud and proud and I want to be seen? And that is totally okay, by the way. I mean, that's how artists think about what you see Lady Gaga wear on stage, right? She has created a brand with what she wears on stage. She needs to be separate. She's trying to be separate in a field where there's a lot of noise, right? She wants a certain look. So what is that for you? What are the 3 words? It's a lot to think about. And I'm prepping you because once we get into the styles, I want you to have an idea. Okay, I am this. This is what I feel. And this style aligns with me. And it works with my business. So what are your 3 words? And what do you want to do? Do you want to stand out? Do you want to blend in with the crowd? Does it align with your personal values? And here we go. Okay. Classic is a word that is thrown around a lot. Classic is definitely in line with timeless. It's a style. But there are different versions of classic. So you may be classic. If this is you, you like clean lines, tailored clothing, minimal embellishments, timeless. You like something that worked 10 years ago. It still works today. Right? Black trousers, classic. Black or navy blazer, classic. White button-down shirt, classic. Muted tones, classics, right? All of those are classic pieces. The one differentiator of classic from other categories for style is the fabric. The fabrics are more structured. They're tailored. They're not soft like jersey knits. They are not that. They are structured. They're going to need to be ironed, most likely, or going to the dry cleaners, right? You want to have, it's pressed, clean lines, timeless clothing. A lot of clothes that we see today weren't in style 15 or 20 years ago, or weren't even a thing 15 to 20 years ago. And now they are. Like, I would have to say even longer than that. Let's go with a cropped t-shirt, right? If you're over 40, you're probably not wearing those, but let's think about it. We didn't wear cropped t-shirts in the 1970s. Right? That's a newer piece of clothing. It's not timeless. If you are classic, if you've put yourself in this category, now there are different versions of classic. What, Christine? Well, there kind of are. You can be classic elegant or classic traditional. So classic elegant, I'm going to go first because that is not as popular, but you would think royal family. Classic elegant is about polish, status, refinement, very detailed but minimalist, right? When you want to think about anyone in the royal family that's in the current royal family, the way they're dressed, that is classic elegant. It's timeless clothing, but there's everything about it, even down to the way the earrings and the jewelry. It's minimalist, but it's elegant because minimalism is elegance. right? Elegance is not a whole bunch of layers. That is not elegant. Elegance is in simplicity. That is classic elegance. That is a person who, you know, someone who is elegant, I'll bet. If it's not you, I'll bet you can think about who she is. She's just elegant. Everything about her is elegant, and she dresses elegantly. She might not be dressed to the nines every single day, but when she is, she likes structured clothing, clean lines, muted colors. Like they might be pastels or beautiful colors, but they're not going to be loud and proud. That's classic elegance. The more common version of a classic style is classic traditional. That is what you probably thought of when I said classic first. So it's the same thing. We're looking at conventional, right? Conventional white button-down shirt, blazers, trousers, long-lasting styles, and fabrics that can stand the test of time with minimal accessories, but you're not always going to be in a 3-piece suit or 2-piece suit for ladies, 3-piece dressing. You might not be 3-piece dressing. You might be 2-piece dressing, meaning a blazer and a skirt, and then nothing out of, you're not going to put on a big hat, let's say, like they would in the royal family. That third piece is what sets them over to the elegance, right? So for you, if you're classic traditional, that should be your closet. If that's how you like to dress, then everything that's in your closet that's not that, if you don't love it, donate it or sell it. And that's going to be true for every category I covered today. Okay, that is the first category, classic. Okay, next category, romantic. Are you a romantic dresser? So you're a romantic if you love all things dainty and feminine. You like ruffles and lace and billowy fabrics, billowy blouses, billowy dresses. You're even cottagecore. I don't know, you might know that cottagecore is a form of dressing up your house, right? It's a form of interior decorating, but it's also a form of dressing your body. It is a lot of knits, like a knit vest or a knit sweater. Everything's feminine though. It's really soft. It's not loud and proud. It's really soft, pretty prints, and florals are big. You might have a little bit of vintage Victorian in there, but it's just feminine. Everything about you is feminine. And if that's you, then you are looking at something that is graceful and girlish and youthful and soft and light. All of these words describe you. If that's your style, if that's who you feel like you are on the inside, then everything in your closet should resemble that. So that's a category. Okay, the next category is creative. Now, creative has several subcategories. This is the loud and proud. This is the one who wears loud colors, bold prints, crazy giant jewelry, statement pieces like the enormous big earrings that you find at TJ Maxx that, might be 5 inches long and turquoise blue. And you're like, who would wear that? That would rip my ear. But somebody wears it and they look great in it, right? That is creative. Creative is someone who is artistic. They like bold colors and patterns, statement pieces, but it's imaginative. You can identify her right away when you see her. It is her confidence that makes her be able to wear that. She loves that. Now, the girl in the beginning that I talked about that came in my salon, she was dressed as a creative, but she wasn't creative on the inside. She wasn't like this expressive, creative person. She was going through a phase, honestly, because she was young and that was what she was doing, but it didn't align with who she was. The creative person wants to draw attention to herself. She's an artist of some form, but there are different forms of creative that you might fall into. And so if this is you, first of all, you wear lots of color. Make sure those colors align with your skin tone. And if you don't know your skin tone, I have episodes here that cover that, but you're either cool, warm, or neutral. Very rare to be a neutral. It's there, but it's rare. You're either warm or a cool. And you go to a color wheel and you look at, think about elementary school, what colors are on the warm side of the color wheel and what colors are on the cool side. If you're a cool skin tone, stick to the cools. Warm, stick to the warm, okay? But without going into detail with that, if you're artistic, you probably fall in the creative category. So if you're creative, you know it. It's who you are as a person. You're loud and proud. You love wearing these colors. You do not follow convention. You break all the rules. You might mix patterns like polka dots with stripes, right? You're creative. I think that doesn't need any more explaining. It probably makes a lot of sense to you. Okay, I'm going to come into the next one now. This one is one of the most common post-pandemic, and that is natural. Natural is all about comfort. You're all about convenience, comfort, ease, free, non-restricting wash and wear. I'll bet you might be this, right? You know what's interesting? In 2024 in the runways, we saw natural athleisure during the pandemic. It went bananas, even with the luxury brands like Gucci, for example. We saw a lot of that. Now it's going back into tailored and athleisure and natural as a style category. They're phasing it out. They're saying, okay, you had enough of your time being in wash and wear, ready to go, stretch pants, right? That's going out the door. Wear clothes that fit. But if that's you, you can still be this. This is you. It's who you are. If you're natural, you might fall into one of two categories: natural casual workwear or natural athleisure workwear. Athleisure workwear does not work corporate 9 to 5. Okay. Obviously, unless you're in the health and wellness space and you're in a gym or something like that. Athleisure meaning you can make like joggers and a t-shirt and maybe a little short bomber work well for you with some sneakers, right? Those things are athleisure, and I don't need to go into that. You know if that's you. Athleisure should not be your clothes because you don't fit in other clothes. That's the one thing I want you to think about, okay? You can use it as a bridge until you get to the place where you are ready to buy new clothes, but don't let that be your style because you don't like how your body looks. You will love how your body looks if you invest in a couple really beautiful pieces that fit you. Now, that is one category though. So you can be a natural style category person in athleisure, or you're natural business casual, or just natural casual. Now, I call casual loosely, okay? When I say casual, I mean, and I can fall into this category sometimes. I wear denim, like I'll wear denim on the bottom. I'll throw it on with some like light blue denim with black booties. And have you ever heard of Barefoot Dreams? Barefoot Dreams is this super yummy, soft fabric. And they make cardigans that are kind of cut on a bias on the bottom where they're longer in the front, they cover your bum, but then they're tapered at the front. They don't attach in the front. Some of them have pockets, some don't. I like no pockets because pockets add bulk, usually if we stick stuff in there. So I am all about not adding bulk to my lines. But I love jeans with a booty, with a tee underneath or a top underneath that has some type of pattern or color that works for me, and throwing over a Barefoot Dreams cardigan. And those sometimes they're used in like you would find it in PJs, right? Barefoot Dreams is often in like the pajama section or the intimate section, but some of them are done so well that you can wear them out every day. That is casual. That's natural casual. And the reason is it's stretchy. I can cross my arms and give myself a hug, and I'm not going to feel the shoulder seams tug. Okay. So if that gives you an idea of what casual and natural is, then, and that's you, if that's who you want to be, and I think this is a lot of women that I meet, they want to feel like they're put together effortlessly, but also effortlessly for real, right? They don't want to feel tight in their clothing, uncomfortable in their waistline. They want comfort. They want sporty. They want convenient, but they want to look put together. If that's you, you are a natural person. And in natural, you're either athletic, athleisure, sporty, or you're natural casual, which you can take into business if you don't have a dress code in business where you work. Okay, the next category, is this you? Alluring. Alluring is where you aren't afraid to show skin, right? You're proud of your body. You're proud of your best assets. You'll have a plunging neckline. You'll show off your booty. You wear belts to accentuate your waistline, and you wear body like form-fitting dresses. That's you. You're alluring. You are not afraid to draw attention to yourself. A lot of musicians are alluring. They dress alluring. I'm thinking J-Lo. She's very alluring. I love her. I think she's incredible. I love the J-Lo energy at 52. I love that she takes care of herself. She hasn't given up on looking good, right? A lot of people in their 50s are like, I'm done with all that. Not me. I'm not. And I hope you're not either. But if you're alluring, you know who you are. You love to feel alluring. You love drawing attention to yourself. Now, you can be, here's the fun part, you can be natural and a natural classic and you dress alluring for a date, right? That's more fun. That's like, think of it more like costuming, not your everyday. You can definitely do that. And actually, alluring can be misleading if you use it to attract a mate, and that's not really you. Because they will soon realize, oh, they just used that to get my attention, but really they're a little on the frump side. They don't really do anything. That's just their dating clothes. And after that, they don't take care of themselves. They don't, dress nicely. So don't do that because you don't want to be misleading. You want to be true to you. So if you're alluring, you know who you are. Now, if you're alluring and you work in corporate, well, you're in kind of a little bit of a conundrum there because most corporate have dress codes and they're very conservative. So of course, you're not going to wear plunging necklines and all of that, but you can do things that, you wear a belt. It draws attention to your waist. You can wear certain shoes. Usually in corporate 9 to 5, you have to have a closed toe shoe. So wear a shoe that makes your foot look beautiful. There's different things you can do if you're alluring that you can pull into your work. All right, that's alluring. My next one that I want to cover is dramatic high fashion. And I saved this for the end because this is very rare, right? Most people, most everyday women, unless they're in the fashion world, are not dramatic high fashion. They don't wear carefree, being noticed, bold clothes, trying to be current. They wear things that are trending this year, but they're not going to trend next year. They're standing out from the crowd. High fashion is super fun if that's your style. Just know you're going to be spending a lot of money on it and, to stay current, right? It's an expensive hobby, but if you love it, I love high fashion to look at it, but I realized the hard way, if you try to stay high fashion, you're spending a lot of money and wasting a lot of money, and you're also creating a lot of waste. And the reason is, and this is a whole topic on another episode, fashion creates a lot of waste. Think about all of the jeans Old Navy makes that they don't sell. Where are they going? All of the t-shirts that don't sell. Right? All of the clothing that doesn't sell. Some of the high luxury brands actually burn them because they want to remain exclusive and create like this sense of urgency. Buy it now, it's gone forever, and they just get rid of their stuff. But for the most part, if you're high fashion and you want to stay current with the trends every year, you're going to be spending a little extra money. And hopefully that is in alignment with your brand and what you do. Because if what you do requires you to stay noticed, stay current and on trend, then this is part of it. Actually might even turn into be part of your wardrobe budget that you can write off as an expense. So that's something to think about. Okay, so I covered all of them. Hopefully you fell in one. Now I'm going to give you some nuances, but to review, we had casual, classic, elegant. So classic, there were two categories, elegant or traditional. Elegant is royal family. Traditional is, straight lines, hems, everything is clean and pristine. Then we went into romantic or feminine. Then we went into natural, which is stretchy, right? Then we went into creative. That's the artistic. We had alluring and we had dramatic high fashion. So I want to give you a couple extras just to think about that I did not mention here. Bohemian. Bohemian, if that's you, you're going, wait, I'm bohemian. She didn't say it. You would fall into the creative category, okay? Bohemian would be a nuanced of creativity. So you are unconventional as well. Lots of flowy fabrics, maxi dresses, fringe, a lot of earthy colors. That is a style. So you would fall into, so the ones I gave you are like headers and then things fall underneath. Bohemian falls under creative. So if that's you, awesome. Another one that can fall under creative is streetwear. Streetwear is where comfort meets rebellion. I kind of love this. I love like a black leather jacket and like ripped up jeans and boots. I love it. I don't know why. I love seeing it and I love wearing it, but it's not my everyday style. It's just like my fun expression. Like this is fun for me. So hoodies, graphic tees, ball caps, like that. Some will put sneakers with it. Others will wear like moto boots or something like that. That's streetwear. That's also a creative. Now you can be these on your after work hours too, but your closet should mostly be what you're going to wear on the everyday. Or what you decide to do is who you are at work becomes a capsule wardrobe that you only have so many pieces that you work through, and your expressive creative nature, if you're this creative person, you have a little section in your closet that you go to for that fun, right? If you have to wear like certain things for work. Okay, another thing that I didn't talk about is preppy. Preppy would fall under classic. So if you find yourself as preppy, you're collegiate, polished. You know what you are if you're a prepster. You wear chinos, stripes, plaids, polo shirts, blazers, headbands. Kind of fun. It's the collegiate college life, and you carry it over. And if that's you, you fall under the classic traditional. Preppy falls in that because you still have some structure in the clothing. Another style that I didn't mention is vintage. And I actually had a client in my beauty salon who dressed vintage. What would it be? The period would be like Audrey Hepburn vintage, right? And she actually went to thrift stores to find vintage clothing. She didn't always buy vintage clothing that was brand new. You can buy remakes, reproductions in the silhouettes that are vintage from the era you want, but thrift shopping, very fun to go find that period of clothing if you can. And if you're vintage, you have sourced pre-owned clothing or you're buying remakes. We used to have a store here in Seattle that did rockabilly. They specialize in rockabilly. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of think 1950s stay-at-home housewife in a dress made out of chintz. It was maybe a shirt dress, but it was short-sleeved, fitted in the bodice, stopped at the waist, and then billowed out into an A-line skirt. And she was in low pumps, right? That's rockabilly. And it's super fun. I went and I love it. I don't love chintz fabric. There's no give, like literally no give. But I also don't like there's a sheen on it. But some of it doesn't have that. But the rockabilly is that. That's vintage dressing. I know people that do it. If that's you, you fall in creative. Right? If you're dressing like in a vintage style that we don't see very much anymore, you are pulling attention to yourself. So, and the other thing about vintage is a lot of vintage clothing, the fabrics are more structured. The more forward we go on the calendar, the more relaxed a lot of our fabrics are getting for the everyday woman. Lots of stretch. Have you noticed? I was just at Nordstrom with my daughter looking at the dress section. She's getting married in May 2024, and we were looking at different like dresses that she might wear to different things like her bridal shower or whatever. And so we got into the formals and we were looking at what they're selling right now. Formal navy gown. She pulled it out. She's like, this is so pretty. She was looking at it for me. And I looked at the fabric and it felt almost like a fabric that you would find in yoga pants, but it was heavier but it stretched like that. And I was like, wow. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's beautiful, but it's also form-fitting, right? But that stretchy fabric, we didn't see that kind of performance fabric way back vintage. That's an expression of your creativity. So that would fall under creative dressing. Okay, finally, my favorite word of all, no matter who you are, is do it chic. Chic actually can be considered a style on its own, but really Why can't you be vintage chic or prep chic? Or classic traditional chic? You can. Chic is just how you put it together. It has this refinement to it where you have worked it all out to work for you. And so whichever category you are, let's find a way to go in your closet, pull out the things that don't fit you anymore and sell those babies, donate them, whatever, and start investing in pieces that identify with your category. Work with your skin tone. And if you don't know your body type, I can help you with that. Send me a message. I am accepting new clients, new private clients. But if you don't know, just start doing some research and start dressing for who you want to communicate you are without having to say a word. I hope this episode helped you, my friend. I'll be back next week, same time, same place. In the meantime, have a fierce, fit, feminine, and fabulous day. One more thing, I almost forgot. I have a free guide for you. If you're a woman in business who needs to show up on camera, whether that's on video or even on stage, but you know it's going to show up on video, or you have brand photo shoots for your business, I have a free guide called Flaunt Your Fabulous. It's in the show notes. If you go there now and tap it, it is my Fab 5 formula. It is my signature formula I use to help every woman in business get camera ready. It's absolutely free. Flaunt Your Fabulous might not be how you feel right now, but it will be how you feel when you apply that Fab 5 formula. Go grab it. It's there waiting for you. Bye for now.